I'm not sure there will ever be any sociological research into what Arnold Schwarzenegger and Amanda Harcourt pulled. I can describe sort of some of it. I can certainly talk about and illustrate the injuries and the confirmation of the horrible crime that they committed is in print by their alliance. They murdered innocent people. They tortured innocent people. They massacred a whole generation with an attack that they admit by denying. In other words, they want to turn the tables on their victim. They've scripted my name on it, along with Gail Carolyn Burston, who they support and admit they support, who they defend and they admit they defend, who knew all about it because she scripted it. And I knew nothing. I was deaf. It was illegal homework assignment. They were just exploiting a traumatized child. Everybody knows that. And they think it's a joke. The media system in America conjoined with Russia because this was worked out with Gorbachev, the KGB, Putin, and Donald Trump under Ronald Reagan. It was all worked out to make these illegal tapes with the help of Peter Gabriel and Carnegie Mellon University, pornographic tapes. Their idea that they try to hide is that sex is sin, is a crime, and that anybody who engages in sex out of wedlock should be trafficked as a slave. And that's what they're doing. And they have the police on their side. Now, they work through the cobwebs of the internet system. They come at me through Nextdoor. They use signifiers that they can deny, but which are recognizable because they did a profile of my past, a very devious, intimate profile of my past, predicated on the right of a gang to use slanders while pretending that they were friends in order to cover for brutal mutilation torture that has left me completely disabled. They poisoned me in the mouth. They raped my deaf friend. I haven't seen her in 30 years. I have Parkinson's. They poisoned my heart so it burps. It's a broken heart. Heart in every literal sense. They lied about how I was tortured. They deafened me as a child. They denied implanting a nerve agent. And yet the police side with them. One of the people who made pornographic and innuendo copy tapes, which the predators in media all have closed ranks to protect themselves for exploiting because it was obviously a violation of my civil rights. They never told the truth about any of it either. They put words in my mouth. They claimed that I did things that I didn't. They put me places that I never was. And they did it to cause dissociation. The same reason they gave me Parkinson's was so that the tape self-destructs. They don't like the fact that I am able to describe some of the sociology at work in the police station media nexus that is covering for Gail Burston, the author of the script, the Texas School Book, who was behind the AIDS attack, because they went along with it. And what they say is, we can hire Clint Eastwood can find a queer who believes Ronald Reagan and Yoko Ono and hates you about Lennon, and we poisoned you in the mouth because he hates you about Lennon. I have very little doubt that they can and do plan to do that. They can and do plan to find somebody to incite as an act of malice, but that's all it is. They have absolutely no evidence that I knew what was going on. Everything shows that they tortured me. And so they're sacrificing somebody because their litany is that they sided with the killers because the killers have a martial code that children should have to do battle. That's the provincial norm. I have not seen any Gaza child my age who doesn't behave the way that I behaved, which they slander me about. They say, oh, you should have talked tough. You should have fought back. You should against a gang of armed teenagers who were terrorizing me. And there was no help to be found anywhere. I went to the office. I cooperated with the police. It does no good whatsoever. It's like Auschwitz. Martha Gellhorn said, it did no man any good ever whatsoever to cry out from this place. The provincial norm in Pittsburgh can be spoken for. It was to some extent what my sister lived by. Men broke her ribs. They gave me 14 stitches in the mouth. They deafened me, slaughtering blows, very controlling. They angle at you when you're 9, 10 years old to silence your mind because they wanted to make sure that you were under the authority of terror. They were bullies, but they were more than bullies. They were kidnappers and child traffickers. And then you have to get a job washing dishes and have your hands pushed in boiling water by Jerry the Jew because there's no time to add cold water. He says, no time, and pushes your hands in boiling water. And this is a Rodef Sholem. So while they're saving Soviet Jewry, they're poisoning the Goyim of Squirrel Hill with the IRE taken out, SQURL. Then the British gangbang the Irish little boy who is appropriately enslaved to them as an admirer. It's appropriate that you come and lick our boots, says Peter Sinfield. They're criminally insane people who had illustrated their conception of my saying that it's a taboo to try to incite rape. That there's nothing in the world of possibility could make someone who loves another person date rape them. They have a cat latching onto a tree and jumping up. See, they're criminally insane predators from Hollywood constructing a persona from their own definition. Now, they steal my stance, but that's okay because somebody put a chair in the basement and I moved it to my room. So it's perfectly okay that they steal my stamp collection, tear my heart out, something I spent hours working on with my father, who they murdered. Oh, but that's perfectly okay that they murdered my father. So, and they use hospital violence on me. They poison me in the heart. They give me Parkinson's. They poison me in the mouth. They refuse to allow me to go to school. And the cops say, well, did you or did you not entertain a girl who wanted to be entertained by you? Oh, that's sin, and that means that we get to steal your stamps, but more importantly, we get to poison you in the mouth. More importantly, we get to support and promote and lie for the gang behind the AIDS attack. That's very important to understand because this deaf man who had no friends, had no comfort, was growing up, was lonely, entertained a girl who wanted to be entertained by him. And that unifies the police behind assassins. That unifies the police behind child rapists. Because Jeannie was legally a child when they well, she was a terrorist, obviously. I mean, deaf Jeannie was a terrorist. She taught the queer bait sign language so he could go back to school and graduate. No, son, she's a terrorist.